Alrighty folks, welcome into another class. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat, for carving this time out for yourself. Today we have an amazing 20-minute morning stretch. Gonna be getting some love into the body, let the blood flow a little bit. A lot of standing poses here, getting you ready for an amazing day. But we'll go ahead and get started in our mountain pose Tadasana. I happen to be facing the camera, but you can face forward on your mat. Be staying in mountain pose Tadasana, breathing in, arms up, look up, palms together as you exhale, hands to heart center. And for our tree pose Vrksasana, right leg, standing leg, left leg and foot to the inside of the shin or upper thigh, not directly on the knee, opening up through the hips, extending that left knee away from you. Immediately working into the standing balance on that right leg, enjoying this beautiful morning that we got to wake up to, making the most out of our day, getting our practice done, the blood flowing. As you go ahead and bring the left ankle over right knee, sitting back and down into your half chair pose, Ardha Utkatasana. And sinking the hips deeper if you want to work on strength, or folding forward, hands to the ground if you want to work on flexibility, as I'm doing here. Opening up through that left hip, pressing down through the left knee, left foot energetic, toes pointing towards the knee. No pain in that left knee. Before folding that left leg all the way over to bind once or twice, moving to our eagle pose. Arms out wide on the inhale, hips down and back. Exhaling, crossing right arm under left, once or twice binding. Dropping your shoulders, then lifting elbows, and then pushing hands away from head. Experiencing an intense balance right here. If your feet need to come down, maybe rest left toes on the mat, but trying to stay in it. Otherwise, your next breath in, coming back to mountain pose Tadasana. Recollecting ourselves, getting ready for the next side, starting with our tree pose Vrksasana. We'll be standing strong through the left leg this time, either bringing your right foot to the inner shin or bringing it up to your inner thigh, whichever is most comfortable for you. And we'll do that on our next inhale. We'll inhale, and on your next exhale, moving into tree pose Vrksasana. Right foot to inner thigh or inner shin, above or below the knee, but not pushing against the knee. Staying here, finding balance. Right knee pushing out, finding your dristi, your focal point, the unmoving point in front of you. Before bringing that right ankle over left knee, dropping back into those hips. And again, dropping deeper for working on strength, or if you'd like to fold forward and down to work on flexibility, the choice is yours. And on your next breath out, folding that right leg all the way over left, binding once or twice, moving into eagle pose. Lifting up, breathing in, arms out, exhaling, folding the opposite way. Left arm under right arm, binding once or twice. Dropping shoulders, lifting elbows, moving hands away from head. Our eagle pose Garudasana. Trying to maintain level hips, one not dropping lower than the other, shoulders level with each other. Before breathing out, coming out of this pose, lifting your right knee up this time instead of moving to mountain pose. Maybe flexing the foot, toes pointing down. Our standing wind release pose, arms raised. Tadasana, Pavanmuktasana, arms raised. Staying here for one more round of breath. I will move for the camera, but just drop that right leg back, moving into our high lunge pose. Hip bones facing towards the front of the mat, inhaling, arms coming up, dropping into your hips, left knee over left ankle, knee tracking over toes, bouncing and sinking into those hips if you want any movement, bouncing up and down, back and forth, making this practice your own, enjoying the moment. I know it's starting to build up some heat, starting to feel it, maybe starting to sweat a little bit. As you exhale, opening into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Again, left knee tracking over left toes, right foot down on the ground at a 45-degree angle, arms out wide, looking over your left fingertips, looking forward. Sinking the hips as much as you can. And on your next breath in, going to reverse the warrior, bringing right hand to back leg above or below the knee. Inhaling left arm up and back. Keeping your chest opening towards the side of the room, not facing down, not collapsing in on itself. Staying strong through the core, equal weight distribution between both feet. Feeling this strong, energetic move. And leaning forward, left elbow onto left knee for our extended side angle pose, variation elbow arm. Straight leg from right wrist to right ankle. Uttita Parsvakonasana, variation elbow arm. Opening that chest up towards the side, maybe dropping left hand if you want a little bit of a deeper stretch. Otherwise, on your breath in, go ahead and straighten that left leg, dropping left hand to shin, block, or floor, moving into our triangle pose, Trikonasana. Strong through both legs, pushing back through the hips, core engaged, twisting up to the side, right arm up, chest facing the side. Equal weight distribution between both legs and both feet. 2 more rounds of breath here before coming into our intense leg stretch pose, Prasarita Padottanasana. As you exhale, swinging down, legs wide, toes facing long edge of mat. Breathing in, extending forward, halfway fold. Breathing out, folding forward and down. Keeping the weight equally distributed through both feet, not leaning too much into your toes. And getting ready to come up to your 5-pointed star on the inhale. Breathing in, arms coming up, toes pointed out, heels pointed in. Inhaling, arms up, 5-pointed star pose, Uttita Tadasana, arms up. Before exhaling down into goddess pose, Utkatta Konasana. Inhaling, arms up, 5-pointed star. Exhaling, dropping down into goddess pose. Flowing back and forth a few times. Inhaling, extending it all up. Exhaling, dropping it all down. Making sure knees are tracking over toes, not one way to the left or right. Any movements that feel good for you here, rocking the hips back and forth, playing around with it, again, making this your practice. For a revolved goddess pose, dropping palms to knees as you drop one shoulder, inhaling, coming up, exhaling, dropping the other shoulder, flowing back and forth with your breath. And continuing to flow here. Or if you'd like to take it a little bit further for our goddess pose variation, forward bend on heels. You will go ahead and raise up on your tiptoes, dropping your chest and upper body parallel to the ground as your arms come out to the side, moving in the direction of parallel, arms out wide. Dropping those hips, lifting those heels, even if it's just an inch off the ground. Connecting thumb and pointer finger. I know it's hard, but you can do it. Inhaling, dropping heels, lifting hands, lifting gaze. Exhale, dropping hands to heart center, heel toe the feet in, coming down for Malasana, garland pose, yogi squat. Relaxing here, gathering your breath, letting your heart rate settle a little bit before moving to the other side. Sinking into this yogi squat, this Malasana. You've put in a lot of work so far, you should be proud, almost through the hard part. One more side to go. As we face the opposite side of the mat, the short side, right leg straight and strong, left leg coming up at a 90-degree angle for our standing wind release pose. Maybe flexing foot, maybe flexing and pointing your toes. And one more round of breath before dropping it all the way to the back of the mat. Keeping your toes pointed forward as you inhale, arms up, dropping those hips. Exhaling, sinking down, 90-degree angle in your front right leg. Knee tracking over toes, maintaining equal weight through both feet. Flexing into the glutes, lifting the arms up. Gaze straight ahead. Slow, smooth, steady breaths as you exhale into Warrior 2. Maybe straightening that leg on an inhale as you exhale. Moving forward, bending that right knee. Dropping into those hips, making any small movements that feel good for you. And on your next breath out, reversing that warrior, dropping left arm above or below left knee, right arm up and over your head. Wonderful opening through the side body, the right side body. Chest facing side of the room. Again, right knee tracking in line with right toes. One more round of breath, and as you exhale, windmilling the arms, bringing right elbow to right knee, left arm up and over your head at a 45-degree angle, straight line from wrist to ankle. Dropping into those hips, maintaining equal weight distribution, most importantly flowing with the breath. And one more cycle of breath here before inhaling, straightening that right leg. Exhaling, dropping right hand to shin, block, or mat. Be on the inside of your right foot as your left arm opens up towards the sky on the inhale. Maintaining strong legs, strong support beneath you. Activating the abdominals to keep your stomach and side off your thigh if possible. Have another round of breath here before exhaling, coming into our intense leg stretch. Again, toes facing alongside of the mat, parallel with each other. As you inhale, extending up, halfway lift, exhaling, folding forward and down. either reaching for the floor, reaching for the outsides of your legs, clasping opposite elbows, whichever feels best for you at this moment. And 2 more rounds of breath here. Before bringing the heels in, toes out, inhaling, arms out wide and up for your 5-pointed star, Utthita Tadasana, arms up. Taking up space, lifting the arms up, expressing yourself to the world, getting ready for the day ahead of you. Exhaling, hands to heart center as you drop your hips for our goddess pose variation, Namaste. Utthita Konasana variation, Namaste. Dropping hips, ensuring knees in line with toes. Slight posterior tilt to the pelvis, dropping tailbone towards the ground. As you come to Skandasana on the right side, dropping over your right leg. If the heel comes up, that's okay, otherwise dropping the heel down. Maybe crawling right arm out, left arm up for a little twist. Otherwise staying in Skandasana. Left leg, toes flexed and pointing up. Right leg tucked in right armpit. As you exhale, coming to the other side, over your left heel, right foot flexed, toes pointing towards the ceiling. As you inhale, sitting up. Two more rounds of breath here before coming into our downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. We'll go ahead and rotate and move into that, noticing how much different your body feels now, how ready you are to take on the day now that you've put in a little bit of work already. Enjoying yourself, being proud of yourself. Pushing through the hands up into the hips, hips rising up towards the sky as you push down into your heels. Making any movements that feel good for you. And dropping down into our child's pose balasana. We will be doing this as our final resting pose today. You've done it, you've made it, you've done so well. Thank yourself for the practice that you've given you. Making the time to work on you, putting time and effort into you. Building your own building so you can shade others. Building yourself up so you can help other people. Enjoying this pose, only here for a little bit longer, and I will call you back when it's time. Starting to make any small movements that you'd like. Wiggling the fingers and toes as you come up to a seated position. Again, thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. You've done an amazing job. I can't wait to see you on the mat for the next class. Otherwise, have a blessed rest of your day, and namaste. Until next time.